We've been using the word law and lawyer quite loosely.
Yeah.
As you might know, or as you definitely know, in the UK we have two main routes. You can become a solicitor or a barrister.
Yeah.
And you're a solicitor.
I am, yeah, that's right.
What made you take the solicitor route as opposed to the barrister route?
And can you tell the difference, please?
Yeah, of
what's
course.
the difference?
So being a solicitor is essentially you help clients from like a law firm perspective. So you help them in their negotiations and setting up, the paperwork for major deals, and you do that side of things. Whereas a barrister is someone who conventionally kind of wears the gown and the wig and goes to court, and they do kind of the court-facing dispute resolution. So there are some fundamental differences starting from, as a barrister, you're technically self-employed in the UK. Like, you're a part of a chamber, but as you grow with experience, barristers are self-employed, whereas solicitors usually work for a firm, a high street firm, a city firm, whatever the scale may be. And the solicitor side of things, I think, has a bit more client relationship management. There's more it's more people-facing, it's more collaborative, and there's more commerciality involved in it. I think you have more access and interaction to the real world, whereas being a barrister is very legalese. It is pulling out that case law book and looking at the precedent and what case, is the point of reference. It is quite heavily the black and white law. I was leaning more towards being a solicitor because, practically speaking, as an international student, I was someone who was looking for sponsorship as well. And in terms of the number of opportunities, pursuing the training contract, which is the qualification pathway for a solicitor, which we'll probably get into, seemed to make more sense for me practically, was the first point. And the second point was also, I loved debating. I did MUN. I love, I'm a qualified mediator. I do like dispute resolution. So I was considering being a barrister, but I think it didn't appeal to me in the way personally, the way the British system is structured. There seemed to be a few more barriers and obstacles. It was a bit more traditionalist than I would have preferred. And I'm still exploring. I'm still trying to understand what the law has to offer. And I thought the solicitor pathway would still leave more doors open for me. I think that's what I've been trying to do, keep opening more and more doors and have access to more and more opportunities. So I thought this just made sense for me personally.
Great.
And do people normally switch in between those two, or they just stay forever in one of those?
So unfortunately in the UK you have to choose. And this is jurisdiction based. This is a UK specific kind of situation because, for example, back in Sri Lanka you qualify as both. You just get qualified as a lawyer and you can go to court or work at a law firm. You unfortunately can't toggle between the two because the pathways are quite different. The skills and specialist kind of nature of what you learn along the way is very different. But you can, as a solicitor, gain higher rights and go to court. So it's not that if you are a solicitor, you can only work at a law firm and be at a desk job. You can gain higher rights and go and represent clients in certain courts, and vice versa. But it's not as separate as you think. So, for example, if as a part of the firm I work, if we are part of a big case, we go out to barristers and we work with barristers and we handle the client relations side, whereas the barrister is the one who rocks up at court and does the representation. But
you're working closely with them throughout, so they're familiar with the case.
Yeah, and it depends. It's on the more contentious kind of work that firms may do. It's not in my day-to-day, this current kind of practice that I'm in, but they do work in tandem. It's never in complete vacuums in an isolated way.
And there are also solicitor advocates, right? Which are kind
exactly.
of quasi-barristers.
Yeah, so they're the ones who get the higher rights. That's exactly right. So you can be a solicitor and get higher rights, go to certain courts and do your advocacy if you want to have kind of your suits moment.